Hello guys, me, Kinza and my group members are Noman, Yusra, Waji and Durya. Me and my group members have assigned a mind map project of a social skill book. Before going to start, I want to share a short review about book so you just have an idea about this book which is written by Chris McLeod. This book is divided into three sections. The first section is about tackling the barriers about socializing in this part. Another has talk about social anxiety and important mindset about these issues. And second section covers developing your conversation skill. In this social skill, you must have to communicate and get good hands on social skill. And the third section covers forming and growing friendship. You are not complete if you have no friendship circle. In this section, author want to tell about making friends, how to meet a group of people and introduce yourself, all things covered to groom yourself. So this is the key points which I tell you about this book. Further description of this section, we make a mind map so my all group members share their point of view regarding this.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Muhammad Noman. Today I am going to talk about social skills. Now, what are they and why are they important social skills? Our skills we use to successfully interact or get along with others. Some example of social skills: respecting others, asking for help, listening to others. A lot of social skills, all of them play important role in our life and all of them should be learned. Why is social skills so important? Social skills will determine how well you get along and with others, how well you are able to function in a daily life. Social skills will have impact on your success. They will impact your success in your school, in the workplace, as well as in your relationship. How does good social skills influence success? For example, students are more likely to do better in school and learning. They feel more. This is because they are feel more confident, make important connection with others, and feel a part of a group. Those that have good social skills are more likely and be happy. People with good social skills are able better communication feeling with others. First, if social skills can be learned, absolutely, we start learning social skills. We and we never stop learning social skills. Everyone can learn to improve social skills. How can improve your social skills? First, you need to understand what social skills are and be aware of them. Second, you must be willing to learn a practice. When it comes to improve your social skills, practice is essential. Practice is not be easy. It will take hard work and time. If someone socially failed, so most of the things faced in our daily life, like social anxiety, discouragement and insecure like uncertain or anxious about oneself or not confident. Social anxiety make you anxious even around your closest friend. You think everyone judge me. Overcome anxiety, make new friends and meet everyone. Discouragement discouragement like loss of hope. Some people always say my life is top and always say negative about us. But no matter what happens, no matter how far you seem to be away from, never stop believe that you show how you make it. Thank you.
So guys, move toward shifting your mindset about your social discomfort. This is the chapter of this book, and this chapter author divided further into subtopics. First topic is related to accept that you will never banish all discomfort, and second topic cover aim to become social function. In first part of this chapter, author presents some useful attitude to adopt regarding social situation. If we want to reduce shyness, worries, anxieties, nervousness, and insecurities, we need to develop right mindset for dealing with these problems. And we have to clear in our mind we cannot remove all our insecurities completely. And to discuss this, author gives some situation like maybe in your life you struggle plenty of time but it's still anxiety strike, or there will be a time when you rejected or look bad social situation, even if you do everything you can to prevent it. After accepting that you can encounter social uneasy from time to time, the second part of this chapter describe a key part of being functional is to realize you can be shy, insecure during social event and still enjoy yourself. Like there is upcoming social event and your mind strike nervousness due to social phobia. Like some people face anxiety when they are with group of people. Okay, you can face and overcome by your own self, like adapt yourself in another word, because if you think more and more anxiety you face, and you can be calm yourself with deep breathing and do some muscle relaxation, or by accepting your fears and insecurities, you may overcome these problems and you feel more comfortable. So the last chapter related to some ways you can reduce your anxiety by challenging, but this chapter suggestion for coping with anxiety gives some more strategies to reduce its impact. This chapter author divided it into five subtopics, which is further divided into topics. First part is dealing with anxiety when you are on, and second part is about coping anxiety by or social event. Third, coping when you are in middle of talking to someone. Fourth, hands-on strategies for tackling anxiety, and fifth, coping with nervous while they are to be social behavior. In this part, authors simply want to encourage those people who feel nervousness when they are in a social event, like it's related to going outside for party with friends or any function or any place where the crowd of people involved. This type of event feel insecurities for those people who feel hesitation in crowd of people. They can be overcome their anxiety by practicing or by start casual conversation with someone, or by focusing on current movement, or by polishing their social skills. Sometimes people think negative thoughts and they too much care about what other people think. And for tackling the age of anxiety, you think must be positive and build up some courage and figure out what is truly important to your life, regardless of your fears or insecurity. This will lead you to overcome your discomfort. Face your fears. In this chapter, author basically describe how real world experiences can affect your mindset about socializing and reduce insecurities, and how you think when you have fears. Sometimes your fears where you know is inaccurate, or maybe when you have insecurity it's generated negative thoughts. Social fears comes in many form, like fears about certain type of interaction, making conversation, inviting friends to hang out, fear of talking to new people. If a social situation makes you nervous, you need to put yourself in it until you get comfortable with it. The author gives some solution to reduce these fears. We can be reduce our fears by least scary to high scary variations. Some people feeling uncomfortable with speaking up in groups, so they should start speaking with small groups and start with those groups which are friendly and they feel more comfortable. You can be reduce your fear by rewarding and congratulating yourself, because if you know sense of satisfaction willing for you, then something can seem less scary. This will lead to help out with these problems. And by face your fears on a regular basis, this will lead to overcome your social fears. Sometimes you will reduce your fears by challenging yourself.
Hi, my name is Shahid, and I'm going to explain you the second part of the book, that is how to develop social skills. There are times when even naturally outgoing people feel out of words in a conversation. Being not able to come up with spontaneous answers is normal. This is the point where your social skills come into account. The well being of your interaction relies upon three factors. Firstly, your comfort and confidence in the other person. Here, your anxiety and insecurity might interfere. When shy people feel intimidated or self conscious, the flow of the conversation breaks down. Secondly, the technical ability of making a conversation. For developing your conversation skills, you need to tune in what each person wants out of the interaction. Every individual brings their own hypersensitive senses to the conversation in regards to their goals. If you tune into them, you can enhance the communication as well as beautify it. Be aware of any personal goals you have that might harm the conversation. Sometimes our goals incline towards more of our selfish side, and all we are interested is to satisfy our ego and validate ourselves. These include spontaneous replies, listening capabilities, body language, your knowledge on the topic under discussion, etc. Lastly, your personality traits, including interest, values, and opinions. The inclination of your general opinions from positive to negative determines your capability of maintaining a conversation. While working on conversation skills, one should keep the following in mind. Firstly, you cannot win every conversation. There will be times that the other person is not in the mood, or has a different personality, or just the situation is unfavorable. Secondly, there is no right or wrong way of making a conversation. Every person has a different perspective, and that defines the expected flow of conversation. Lastly, there is no determined way of interaction. You have to keep culture, background, topic, and interest into account when making a conversation. Ask is to clarify your goals. There can be several goals while making a conversation. Having an interaction that interests everyone involved. Having a having a conversation that includes everyone can range over a series of topics like movies, popped up series, some book, politics, or anything general. This way, everyone gets to have a word and no one feels left out. The second goal, which you have to clarify, is learn about the other person and try to find some common ground. This is mostly taken into account when come across someone new, but can be applied to older relationships as well, as they can help you further enhance them. Sharing about yourself with other people, sharing your interests, personality, sense of humor, values, and recent life events will increase room for more interactive conversation, as long as you give the other person the opportunity to involve and not get too self absorbed. Usually, when you have a conversation, you exchange responses back and forth and aim to provide a sufficient answer for the other person to work with. At the most basic level, you can ask them a question which directly calls on them to contribute, or making an interesting statement which would force the other person to respond. Another approach is figure out your potential topics and steer the conversation in that direction. Letting the other person share their interest is something normally preferred. However, at several instances, sharing your own thoughts help you organize them. The goal here is to predetermine an approach or several approaches for an unexpected conversation. This method is usually successful. A broad general approach can be selected, and just in case you can go with more than one, approaches can be switched during the flow of the conversation. Regarding other people's uniqueness, this is the most common approach applied. The goal is to ask questions and listen to the responses intently. The eventual purpose is to learn more about the other person's personality and know fascinating facts about them which enhance their uniqueness. There is no wrong answer during a conversation. You just need to navigate through the other person's drive. Ask the other person thoughts on the question or topic you were talking about. You cannot have an entire conversation based on the technique, but it is easy to acquire when you face a loss of words. It is mostly when you question the other person what you just answered. Realize you have more to talk about than you think you may. However, at times the situation is not much favorable. Sometimes you run into people who don't want to share much about themselves as they are shy, private, or considered rude to just talk about themselves. They want to learn instead, they want to share their passions only to those who have prior knowledge to it. During conversations, if you are not interested in speaking or you are just an interested listener, there are also some limitations which you can face. Having conversations with the other person, the center of the topic, is very essential and something you should always. Questions can range from asking about new information or talking about knowledge already existing. Open questions are usually preferred over closed questions as they leave more room for conversation, but it depends on the situation as well. A statement could be an answer to a question, an opinion, an observation, some information, or sharing some relevant experiences. Also, at times you feel lost during a conversation as you do not feel a connection with the other person. The situation can be overcome by going a little extra mile. If you are consistently not receiving desired responses, then it is preferable to request someone a feedback, but that can lead to a negative experience depending on every individual's sensitivity, as they might get hurt from the criticism. Further, it may be biased as the other person might worry about them getting hurt. Thus, a counselor can be consulted as then the individual would be dealt in a professional way. Hi, my name is Yusra Miriam, and now I will further explain how to develop social skills, recognizing and acting on other people's nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication is mainly all messages sent and not spoken. They include body language, undertones, facial expressions, etc. Nonverbal signs are significant in determining the other person's thoughts, but they cannot be entirely dependable. Some reasons are people know how to control the nonverbal signals in order to be polite. People have different styles of communicating nonverbally depending on their personality, mood, gender, culture, etc. Some important channels of nonverbal communication. Tone of voice. You could consider tone of voice a part of verbal communication. Use of eye contact. Maintaining solid but not too much intense eye contact can make people appear more confident. Open or closed body language. Open body language is when someone appears casual and relaxed, and closed body language is tense and protective. Use of objects and the surroundings. If people pay more attention to things around you while you were talking, it means that they are not fully engaged with you. Use of personal space. You let people as close to you as your relationship justifies. If you have a close relationship, you do not mind them getting near you, but you do mind if they are not too much close to you. Fashion sense and grooming. So this is not completely reliable, but people communicate a lot through their clothing choices, body and feet direction. We often unconsciously point our body where we intend to go. If you are interested in talking to someone, you will face him or her. Some important clusters of nonverbal signs. You should be able to read people's emotions if you intend to understand nonverbal messages. People often send out the following signals: approachable signals, friendly facial expressions, open, relaxed body language, looking around, scanning people to talk to. For group, members are arranged loosely, less approachable, preoccupied facial expressions, close body language, not much attentive, away from everyone else, and for group, members are standing in a light, close circle.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Wajiraza, and today the topic I'm going to talk about is forming and growing friendship. Now, before getting deep into this topic, we all know how friends are important in everyone's life. You need them in your bad and good times with you. Not everyone can be a very good friend, but there are some friends that can be very close to you. I have few friends that are very close to me. Now, when we talk about making friends, there is a whole process involved. For some, it might not be a process too difficult, but for some, it is very difficult because they usually hide their feelings and are not able to express themselves. So, those who are not able to express themselves, they might need to follow few basic steps when making the friends. As you can see in this mind map, that to make friends, firstly you need to invite people and make plans with them if you want to be friends with them, because mostly people like going out, enjoying with people. So when you go out and enjoy with someone, maybe this can lead to a potential friendship. Now, when considering potential friends, if a friend need to have certain basic characteristics. Firstly, the person needs to be very kind and honest with you, because that's what friends do. They need to be very true and honest to each other. Secondly, they need to be adventurous, because good adventures make good memories. If these things are working well, then you can take the friendship to next level and approach them in for friendship. Now, some things you need to keep in mind when making friends is that it can take time, because not everyone is too open. They need time to gel with each other. So and that also depends on the behavior, attitude and compatibility of the person. If they have a very friendly behavior, then most likely it won't take much time. And even if they have less of an attitude, now that attitude might be when you're approaching someone from for friendship, they might give you mixed signals, unclear signs, you can say, and which might be confusing for you if they want to be friends with you or not. But still you need to be focused on yourself. Don't lose out your focus thinking that you might they might see you as lame. Don't try to hide yourself uh, in that don't try to hide yourself, because you might think that people might see you as lame, but this is not the case. It's normal when you try to approach someone from friendship, you try to take a step. So as you can see in this mind map, there might be chances that you might think that people might not be interested in you. So don't think, as you can see, uh,
in this mind map that being lonely does not mean you are deeply flawed. See, so it's not a sign of trouble s- because or a symptom. Your loneliness is not a flaw. You might be people not what would not want you in life in their life, but that doesn't mean you are lonely or it is something of a flaw. Moreover, this is no trouble. You can easily get out of your loneliness shadow by trying something adventurous in your life. Maybe you might seem alone or people might not be interested. Maybe this could be because there are several mistakes you are making in interacting with them. You might have no idea about them, so it is necessary that you try and understand them, or maybe you could try a different approach because everyone has a different personality. Moving on further, there are some troubleshooting process of making friends. Firstly, make life circumstances interfere. Your life circumstances could be interfering with your social life. Maybe you could be living in a small town, not having money, or less, or lonely surrounding. So this might be possibly a reason that might be causing problem for you while in your social life. Another problem could be living far from people, or just staying at home, or being really busy. These are several problems be cause that could cause trouble in your social life. Moreover, there are common worries which might n- with common worries which you might have, as you would not as people might not know you enough, so they might would think that you don't want to be friends with them. Moreover, no one will see you as desperate, so don't feel weird when asking people for plans or trying to go out with them. Another thing is you need to improve your social skills. Maintain the progress. If you have made a progress while making friends, you need to maintain it. Use those skills in your everyday routine life. Go out of your uncomfortable situations. So this is what this mind map is all about: friendship. Now, this my experience of making friends, of my experience of making mind map. It was a really good experience as it was my first time making a mind map, and especially when collaborating with my teammate, we as a group got along very good, and it was a good idea that we everyone, most of us were not aware of each other much, but due to this whole project we got to know each other very well, and it was a very good experience. Mind map of making mind maps, and we are thankful for our teacher, Sir Afzal, who gave us this opportunity where we could express ourselves and show our skills of drawings and making mind map. Thank you so much.